I just can't climb up this godforsaken ladder. I'm stuck in Elo hell. At least that's what a lot of people say as of recently, especially in streams of high-ranked competitive players. I've seen a lot of people claim they would easily beat a team of pros if they weren't stuck in Elo hell. Hey, what's up guys, Clough here once again, and today we're going to talk about Overwatch Competitive Season 2 and how it might be broken. Now here's a little heads up, there's going to be a lot of speculation going on in this video, and that for good reason, which is pretty much the meat of today's subject. It's Blizzard deliberately hiding information from the players. I've spent a significant amount of time trying to find a definitive statement from the devs as to how placements, matchmaking and SR distribution works, but the reality either looks a little different or there is no information to begin with. So if I missed anything and you get an official statement at hand, do let me know down in the comment section below. But anyway, let's get right into it. So I usually play in a team of 3. We've been playing all of our placements together, and just like last season, we felt like we got placed a little lower than we should have. We managed to climb a good bit in Season 1, however, this time around it seems a little more difficult. After our placements, we came out with ranks around 2700 as our Platinum. We weren't too thrilled about that, but hey, we didn't have the best of luck in our placements, so whatever. Now get this, it took us a solid 2 weeks with playing about 5 times a week to progress beyond our placement SR at all. It was absolutely gruesome. We either got troll picks in our team, or people don't communicate, don't care, or play heroes they're just not comfortable with. The biggest problem we faced was that we always lost just marginally more SR than we got for any win. That's odd, isn't it? How are you supposed to climb a ladder if you always lose a bit more than you win? Well, that's where this speculation begins. In the aforementioned competitive stream, the chat has been talking about what they think the ladder works like, and it kinda made sense to me, so I'd like to share it with you guys. So after a place of matches, depending on how well or not so well we performed, the system would try to rank us on either the lower or higher spectrum of Platinum, with a tendency of placing you lower from where you belong, since it's a ladder and you're supposed to climb. However, the system acknowledges that your performance is dependent on your team, and you could have had a bad set of matches during your placements, so what the system does to compensate for that is giving you a multiplier for win streaks. The rationale behind that is that if you really are that good of a player and you belong to a higher rank, you will win a lot of games. If you do, you get more and more points for each victory. And this is where our first problem lays. We rarely ever won 2 games in a row before losing another one because of things outside of our control, such as a person refusing to switch and hence being about as useful as an empty spot. And this is where I start to think, what if, and I only mean what if, the system thinks that since we're playing in a 3-man pre-mate, it purposely gives us players who have been performing poorly, assuming we can carry them. That would make it very difficult to climb if every time we're about to be on a roll, it throws some really bad players at us, right? But again, that is pure speculation. The only thing I can say for certain is what we experienced, and that's an extraordinary high amount of players simply refusing to communicate, which is a huge problem in itself. What supports me thinking that chat was right with their theory about the win streak is that, for one, I've seen another streamer get close to 100 points for his 13th consecutive victory, and we also had a 6-game win streak the other night, granting us more points than usual. The more frustrating it was to lose after that, obviously. Being frustrated with losing our win streak, I decided to play some solo queue and figured that the quality of games was entirely different. I never queued with teams bigger than 2, most of us were solo queuer, and most of the time everyone was in voice chat. I actually managed to rack up a few win streaks on solo queue by now, but this is where I started getting a little iffy about chat's theory. So out of 3 win streaks of each 6 victories I had by now, during 2 of them I could clearly tell that I've gotten more points going from the 4th to the 5th and to the 6th game. But the last win streak I had was beyond weird, so most of the time I play supports, mainly Zenyatta, and I do a lot of collabs directing our DPS. In a team of solo queues that usually work pretty well, sometimes I do pick up a McCree or Junkrat and the odd Zarya or Reinhardt. But during my last win streak, where I again played support almost exclusively, I got barely any points. I'm glad I wrote off my progression down so I can share it with you guys, so here we go. My first victory got me 24 points, my second victory got me 30 points, the next game we stomped on attack, at which point the other team quit, so I only get 2 points. Now it gets weird, we've had a pretty even match on Icon Vault, and one with a few minutes left on the clock with me playing Zenyatta, 2 golds and 1 silver medal. Only 14 points? Next one we barely managed to win on Gibraltar. 18 points with 1 gold and 1 bronze on Zenyatta. Note that this is my 5th victory in the series, so this is where I expected points to go up, and this was the biggest insult. Another match on Gibraltar, which we just barely lost. It took away a whopping 33 points from me. This one loss just negated the last 2 victories I had and even took 1 point away from me, as though it just wanted to make fun of me. This has really upset me, but I still went for another match. We won with a lot of effort and I got a flat 20 points, dedicating myself to be the only support since my team thought themselves too cool to play something that can't kill. So what irritates me the most about this whole situation is the lack of consistency. Playing in the 3-man pre-made, across the board we would always get a similar amount of SR, but we would also consequently get bad teammates whenever we won more than one game. While playing solo, I've had multiple win streaks and the amount of SR I got was just all over the place. In Season 1, I was certain that my medals related to the amount of progression I got, but now, whenever I play solo and I rack up medals while my team jerks each other in spawn, I still lose so much more than I gain. The biggest question mark I ever had in my face was when I got gold limbs and 3 silvers as Zenyatta and still only got 22 points, when other times I got more for doing less. This one game I had today, we completely rolled some kids on Gibraltar, and just for 10 seconds before we're done reaching the point, 3 guys leave, with the rest leaving on their attack turn. This may sound douchey, but if your team is so good that you make others rage quit, shouldn't you get more points? Does that show that you belong to a higher SR? You'd think that a player who has been on multiple win streaks that have always just been broken by a single loss belongs into a higher rank, wouldn't you? Yet for some reason the system decides to not warrant the fact that I've already had all of those win streaks and instead give me even less points. This just seems really, and I mean really odd. At this point in time, I just have no idea what to think anymore, and Blizzard isn't exactly helpful. They refuse to give the players any information how SR distribution works, and that ties well into their gameplay philosophy. The notion that letting players know how their teammates are performing would only support toxicity. Look, I can understand that it doesn't matter how you're performing in quick play, but in ranked it is important for us to know if a teammate is not doing well on a particular hero. If we could tell that someone has a very low damage on a hero that's supposed to have gold, we could always work out the solution. And let's be honest, if the game doesn't tell us who's performing badly, people will just decide for a scapegoat themselves and accuse them baselessly. Blizzard is making it very difficult for us to figure out any problems at all. May that be knowing how our teammates are performing, who in the opposing team is performing best, giving us a hint that we should focus on them, or the fact that the game won't tell you the player's pings and you're left wondering why the heck you just got Roadhog hooked through a wall, since the devs themselves said that the dev cam is not accurate at all. Here's the thing, right? I can understand that you won't want people to know how SR distribution works because you're afraid that some people would only do what pushes their skill rating, but the problem remains that it seems absolutely arbitrary at this point and only leaves players frustrated with the lack of information. Needless to say that picking heroes that push your SR is pointless if you lose, so players would quickly learn that it's better to get 20 rather than 26 SR than not winning the match at all. At least those are my thoughts on the subject. So to conclude today's video, it is irritating how much information Blizzard is hiding from the players, knowing how your teammates and opponents are performing, knowing if everyone is on a solid connection, and understanding why you got ranked where you are and why you got as much SR as you did greatly outweighed any perceived disadvantage Blizzard might see in revealing this information, at least in my opinion. It is frustrating to play in a system that just kinda is what it is, and never understanding why one time you got greatly rewarded for victories and other times you seem to just get punished into oblivion. But then again, what do you guys think about this? Did you experience similar things in a team or solo queue? Did you pay attention to the amount of SR you got per match? I'd be really curious to find out how it has been treating you so far. But this is me done for the day, so thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys next time.